Let's begin today's Vanguard news with 2 Orfist supports in DZBT05. In order to pad out the video, since you're going to leave after a minute of staring at Nightrose's cleavage. Cardinal Fanged Inebria while on rear guard gives all your shadow army tokens an auto ability that lets you retire itself when your other unit is attacked to give that attacked unit 5k power for that battle. Funny how Orfist was never afraid of control decks. Now here comes a unit that will become everyone's favorite punching bag for trying to use the tokens for a quick shield. Cardinal Draco Noil's Aha when placed on rear guard or the Guardian Circle gets 10k power and shields if you have 2 or more shadow army tokens. And when it's retired during your battle phase, you return it to your hand. So Bushiroad revealed 2 cards for Orfist that completely counter the other's ability unless you guard with this card first before using Denebria. And it seems that more decks are utilizing Lyrical Monasteria's return to hand tactic besides Alden. We now get into the stuff you actually came for and camed for. The last 2 supports for Nightrose in DZSS03. Marauding Shade has a hollow ability. While on rear guard, he gets 5k power when he becomes in hollow state. If you have Nightrose's crest, he gets 10k power instead if you have 10 or more cards in your drop zone. And when he's put on the Guardian Circle, he gets 5k shields. If you have Nightrose's crest, he gets 10k shields instead if you have 10 or more cards in your drop zone. So much for getting an attack extender for Nightrose's first stride. This card is the equivalent of using Steam Fighter Argandia in Chronojet, with this card able to at least power up. This card is probably the first thing Nightrose mains will remove for better cards. Finally, Mist Phantasm Pirate King Nightrose requires discarding a grade 3 Nightrose card to stride. While on Vanguard at Generation Break 2, you can pay 1 counter blast and retiring 2 rear guards when she attacks a Vanguard to call up to 2 grade 2 or higher cards with different names from your drop zone. Then she gets an extra crit if you have 10 or more cards in your drop zone. And units called by her ability get 10k power if you have 15 or more cards in your drop zone. What she lacks in 4 attacks on her first stride, she makes up for it with 5 attacks on her ultimate stride. Being able to get your Nightrose stride fodder will be a big priority for this deck. Cards like Farmja and Enlagulv will be mandatory for this deck to succeed. Not to mention that Nightrose seriously needs to go second in all of their games, just so they can get to this card quickly. Overall the deck seems good enough but far from the bar that Shiranui and Luad have set. She's paying for their sins. That Bushiroad didn't even give her an early attack extender and doesn't even have a special gimmick to her ultimate stride outside of being the attack extender herself. And that concludes this Vanguard news without the bullshit. Special thanks to my Patreon members for continuing to support my content creation. Be sure to subscribe and let me know in the comments if you're still going to use Inlet Pulse Dragon, even though Nightrose can't do 4 attacks on their first stride.